2008 Sasol South African Rally Championship, but sadly, round 8 will not see the talents of Paul Pfeiffer. The South African rally fraternity was shocked when a freak accident during a Western Cape regional rally claimed the life of production car star driver Paul Pfeiffer. The Nobili Mitsubishi Lancer that Pfeiffer and navigator Cindy Harding were driving in ended upside down in a farm dam. Rally and rescue crews managed to drag Harding to safety, but Pfeiffer was only found around 15 minutes later. He was flown to hospital, but pronounced dead soon after his arrival. Pfeiffer started rallying in 2003 in a Class A6 Toyota Corolla, but he'll be remembered for a series of inspiring drives behind the wheel of his Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 6. During his rally career, Pfeiffer managed to notch up a number of great results, including a third overall in the Toyota Dealer Rally in the Western Cape in 2006 and an overall production car win during this year's Sasol Rally. This is the first fatality in an event since Lambert Fecken on the 1974 Castrol Rally. Paul Pfeiffer was a fearsome competitor, but more importantly, a true gentleman and a good friend to the entire rally community. He will be missed. So after 7 rounds on farms and forests all over South Africa, gravel racing returns to Gauteng for this, the Toyota Dealer Gauteng Rally. The Milliefield farm roads around Bronkhorstspruit and Babsfontein, east of Pretoria and Johannesburg, present an extremely tough challenge to the drivers, navigators, their cars and their service crews. And although they lack aesthetic appeal, they bring gravel road racing right to the doorsteps of millions of Gauteng residents. Earlier this year, Volkswagen won the Toyota Dealer Rally in Cape Town, and Toyota returned the favour by winning the Volkswagen Rally in Port Elizabeth. This is another Toyota Dealer Rally, so Toyota would very much like to bring an end to the habit of a rival manufacturer winning the opposition's event. The battle lines were drawn, and the battlefield? A challenging 16-stage route, totaling 203 kilometers.
The stages aren't as technical as I'd like them to be.
You know, it's my hometown. I learned to drive on these roads, so I sort of like them.
Mostly it's fast, lots of 90s.
I've done these roads maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago when I first started rallying, but it's a nice area.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this area. The roads are much for the driver, you know, it's Milliefields and it's 90 lefts and there's some bad jumps and stuff like that.
The roads are quite bland in terms of driving skills, but there's lots of opportunities to damage tyres and suspension and so on.
So with most of the class championships already decided, the drivers won't be able to make any excuses of them protecting their championship positions. This time around, with nothing to lose, they can all just go flat out in what will be a battle of the egos. With 3 victories out of 7 events so far, Gauteng Fecken was consistently the quickest driver and therefore a worthy champion. But just how fast can he really go?
We managed to get the 7th place that we needed to win the championship, so that's settled. So basically this event we can go as fast as we want to.
Outgoing champion Jan Habig won the opening round in Natal and would love to finish the season in the same way.
And I think all the guys will be on a bit of a mission, some more than others, and yeah, we're going to be part of that mission.
The last time 2006 champion Enzo Keen tasted victory was during the Sasol Rally early in May.
Wins don't seem to come that easy these days. The competition is more fierce, and I think place notes have changed the sport for the better. You know, it's much tighter and you really have to have a good event, a clean event to win.
Jean-Pierre Damso is currently on a high after winning his first ever overall rally last month in Cape Town. But can he repeat this performance?
You know, we'd like to, but you know, everyone's going to be out there to win. The Toyotas, works cars, they want to win this rally.
Besides Fecken, Habig, Keen and Damso, Toyota's Mark Cronje is the only other driver to have won a rally in 2008 when he beat the Volkswagens at their home event. And this time they will be seeking revenge.
We've done some homework and the car feels really good, so we'll see. I think if everything goes well, we'll have a good package. We'll take the fight to them, eh?
Castrol Toyota teammate Johnny Gemmell had a roller coaster season. He had winning speed on almost every event, but luck was not on his side.
But when we're going pretty nicely. And now we've got this new Aurus. We've done some testing on Wednesday, and it feels pretty good, so we're looking for a good result.
After rolling on the Swartland Rally, Nicholas Ryan will miss the Toyota Dealer Gauteng Rally.
My right knee knocked against the door panel. I'm a freak, just stupid freak, and then a ligament problem I had on a squash injury just manifested itself. Unfortunately, I'm running around in crutches. It's okay. It's not a problem.
Charles Wilkin has been the production car points leader all season long, but the overall production car championship is not yet in the bag.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, first has to win the rally overall, but you know, that's a long shot. I very much doubt that's going to happen. So I'm just going to go out and enjoy myself today, and hopefully we can finish off with a win.
On paper, Fisher du Plessis still had a chance to defend his production car title.
With Fernando not coming, also with Paul's death, you know, Paul was a very good friend of mine. So made me not just coming to enjoy.
Hein Latergan started the season too late to be in any championship fight, but wanted a good showing for new sponsors Afrox.
I tell you what, I'm now very nervous. I don't know why. Obviously, it's the worst time just before the start of a rally. But I think we'll just go flat out. I mean, we've been doing it this year. We're trying to gain experience more and more. Johan is doing the notes very well, so I'm looking forward.
For the sixth time this year, it was up to championship leaders Fecken and Aries to leave the start ramp first, en route to tackle the first of Friday's 7 stages around Bronkhorstspruit. They were followed by teammates Habig and Keen and the first of the Toyotas, the Runnex of last month's winner JP Damso. Johnny Gemmel and Peter Marsh were next behind the wheel of their brand new Castrol Toyota Auris. From East Rand Toyota in Boksburg, it was almost 90 kilometers to the start of stage 1, a 23-kilometer taste of what was to come over the next 2 days. Hans won, close to Bronkhorstspruit, had lots of fast straights, long sweeps, tight corners and big jumps. This is it. The first stage of the last rally of 2008, and Fecken and Aries were out to prove that they are the deserving champions. The BP Ultimate Polo completed the 23-kilometer stage in a time of 14 minutes and 23 seconds. On these roads, being the first car to drive over them could be somewhat of a disadvantage, so Fecken's time was fast, but not the fastest.
Everything went pretty well. I think we caught everything at just the right speed, so no, I'm quite happy. Everything worked out very well.
The chance to add a 7th driver's title might have slipped through their fingers, but outgoing champions Jan Habig and Douglas Judd were driving for pride. The BP Ultimate Polo flew through stage 1 in a time of 14 minutes and 16 seconds, or 7 seconds faster than their teammates. The fight was on.
Sort of, you know, quite a bland stage. A lot of sand holds the car back. Car's not, I don't think it's pulling as well as it should. But maybe it's the heat, you know, so yeah, that's okay, nothing out of the ordinary.
Enzo Keen and Guy Hodgson were the next ones to battle their way through the dusty Millifields. Knowing that there were still 16 stages to go after this one, Keen took a more cautious approach and recorded a time of 14 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, we had an overshoot on a one corner, so I lost 15 seconds there, I think.
With championships already won or lost, JP Damso and Kobus Frey could afford to concentrate on going fast, and going fast they did. The Total Evolution Toyota Runnex blitzed through stage 1 in a winning time of 14 minutes and 12 seconds, proving that his victory in Cape Town was no fluke. The brand new Castrol Toyota Auris of Johnny Gemmel and Peter Marsh only turned a wheel in anger for the very first time the Wednesday before the start of the Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally. Gemmel got his first competitive stage out the way with a time of 14 minutes and 36 seconds. With little or no worries about production car championship positions, the Sasol Konica Minolta Subaru of Charles Wilkin and Greg Godrich were given free reins on the final event of the year. He had to play it safe all year, but the Pretoria driver promised before the start of the event that he will go flat out this time round and equal the time set by Gemmel on stage 1. John Williams recently won the Pirelli Star Driver of the Year award, earning himself a place in a selected number of WRC events for next year. The Cape Town youngster, with his father Douglas in the hot seat, is still rapidly climbing the ranks and equaled the 4th fastest time on stage 1.
Quite a bit of question, a lot rougher than we thought, but otherwise it was okay. Yeah, got into a nice rhythm.
Pretoria businessmen Japie van Niekerk and Robin Houghton were extremely consistent all year and occupied 3rd on the championship points table for most of the season until 2 consecutive mechanical failures halted his progress in his first year in the top S2000 class. Van Niekerk started the Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally with a top 10 time on stage 1.
I had to overshoot, you know. So, had a good stage otherwise, just overshoot.
Castrol Toyota's Mark Rooney and Robert Paisley were the ones that ended Volkswagen's early season domination when they won in Port Elizabeth in July. A month later, the pair was only 2 stages short of giving the Newcastle Toyota Auris a win on its debut in the mountains around Berkeley East, but it wasn't to be. On this event, they set off in their quest to add a second victory to their names by recording a safe 6th fastest time. The Afrox Subaru of Hein Latergan and Johan van der Merwe was the 10th car and the second production car to tackle stage 1. Latergan was looking forward to a really good rally and recorded the 10th fastest stage time, but he was already 29 seconds off the production car lead.
Yeah, we had one overshoot early in the stage. There were some confusing arrows that was marked and we still got confused.
The Pertex Subaru of defending production car champion Visser du Plessis with Gerard Snyman in the navigator's seat was the 3rd fastest production car and just outside the overall top 10.
The car is overheating, so I had to switch off the anti-lag.
Yeah.
And there are one place where they warned us ignore arrows on the right, but they didn't tell us that there were other arrows in front of us, so we went past our turn of going to those arrows, so we had a proper overshoot, but I see I'm not the only one.
Damso opens his account with a fine stage win ahead of Habig and Feckert. Clonier was only 11 seconds off the pace, followed by the S2000s of Keen, Gemmel and Williams. Wilkin takes the early production car lead. After the 23 kilometers of stage 1, it was just up the road for stages 2 and 3. At 12 and 7 kilometers respectively, the combined distance of stage 2, Susan, and stage 3, Santi, would be less than the 23 kilometers of stage 1. But it meant another 2 stages on the trot before the crews could head back to service their cars for the very first time. Throughout the season, Feckert and Uddies were the ones to beat in their BP Ultimate Polo, and they would have enjoyed nothing more than to finish a vintage season off with a 4th victory. They set the 3rd fastest time on stage 2 and went one better on stage 3 to take the overall rally lead. Pride was at stake for the outgoing champions Habig and Judd, who drove hard over these 2 stages. This legendary pair went off the boil a bit midway through the season, but it seemed as if the champions were finding their form again and ended these 2 stages just 4 seconds off the overall lead. The 3rd BP Ultimate Polo, with Enzo Keen and Guy Hodgson behind the wheel, was 3rd on the road. Keen is one of the most consistently fast drivers you'll find anywhere and proved it once again by winning stage 2 and keeping within striking distance on stage 3. He ended this loop of first stages just 14 seconds off the lead. The Total Evolution Toyota Runex of JP Damso and Cobus Frey was leading the Toyota dealer rally after stage 1, but things were about to go horribly wrong for the pair of Cape Townians. Damso lost nearly 20 seconds in stage 2 as a result of a misfire. Unfortunately for Damso, it went from bad to worse as he was forced to retire before starting stage 3. He said he didn't like this rally, and now the rally doesn't like him. Johnny Gemmel and Peter Marsh had the hopes of Castle Toyota fans resting on their shoulders. The new Castle Toyota Auris looked fast and their stage time agreed. 2nd quickest on stage 2 and 5th fastest on stage 3 left them in 4th overall.
Yeah, the car's running nicely. Just this one, we came back into our own dust, didn't know where the road was.
Wilkin and Godrich were flying in the Sassel Konica Minolta Subaru and opened up a 24-second production car lead over the next 2 stages while mixing it up with the S2000 cars.
A lot rougher, a lot sandier, and the jumps are a lot bigger.
The Williams Polo of John and Doug was now really starting to mix it up with the rest of the more established names in South African rallying. John completed these 2 stages in 5th position overall.
Had a good run on that stage, made an overshoot right at the start, but you know, I realized I've got to start pushing and make a couple of mistakes to learn from it.
Japie van Niekerk and Robin Houghton were as consistent as always, driving sensibly and hoping to end their season on a high note. They were lying 7th overall.
Being 8 on the road, you know, they're so rapid, you just sit there and spin, you know, you don't get traction, you don't get going.
The Castle Toyota Auris of Mark Cronje and Robert Paisley was the 9th car on the road. Cronje flew into stage 2 with the aim of chasing the Volkswagens down. But when you're driving on the limit, like you do in top-class rallying, corners arrive very quickly.
Left 3 tightens to 5 and caution, turn late right 9 over the bump here. Robert.
Yeah, we had a good start. The notes were flowing quite nicely, so there was a left 3 and I don't know if I heard the notes a little bit too late, but yeah, we arrived at a right 9 flat out and it was impossible to slow the car down, so one of those things, you know, we're getting caned this year, making up for mistakes. I'm I'm hoping that we can get it back on track, eh?
Further down the field, the Afrox Subaru of Hein Latergan and Johan van der Merwe was still holding on to second position in the production car category, ahead of the Bertix Subaru of Visser Du Plessis and Gerard Snyman. After stage 3, the name Fecken is again in a familiar spot, and the same counts for Habig and Keen. The names Damso and Cronje are noticeably missing from the leaderboard, and Lola Verlaque moves into the top 10. After the break, the action on the Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally heats up as a typical high-felt thunderstorm moves closer. 3 of 16 stages, newly crowned champions Fecken and Aries were in the lead, but only by 4 seconds from Jan Habig and Douglas Judd.
No, that clean stage is nothing out of the ordinary.
Charles Wilkin was setting a blistering pace in the production car category.
Yeah, it's going well, except for carb eating, so we're driving with the heater on in this heat, so it's very hot in the car.
Off to stage 4, Harem was an 18.7 kilometer test of driving skill and bravery north of Bronkhorstspruit, followed by a repeat of each of the first 3 stages of the day. So 7 stages in total for day 1 of the Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally, a tough day for the crews. The sisters, Lola and Megan Verlaque, or the Rally Chicks as they are known, managed to claw their way into the top 10 on the overall leaderboard in their Team Total Evolution Mitsubishi Lancer. The Rally Chicks missed the previous round in Cape Town due to African Rally Championship commitments, but here in Gauteng, the sisters were back in full force. Hein Latergan and Johan van der Merwe in their Afrox Subaru were trying their very best to catch Wilkin, but they were unable to close the gap. The pair also suffered from a puncture on stage 6, which cost them around 3 minutes, but fortunately for this determined crew, it only dropped them from 8th to 9th overall.
Yeah, I tell you what, it doesn't rain but it pours. The previous stage, first corner, the sandbank took the wheel off the rim. It was too far to go, so we had to change. We lost 3 minutes.
This allowed the outgoing production car and Class N4 champion Visser Du Plessis and Gerard Snyman to move into 8th overall. The Bertix Subaru ended day 1 second in production cars, but nearly 3 minutes from the production car lead. Jaapie van Niekerk and Robin Houghton were suffering from a lack of time behind the wheel of their Ronix, following their 2 previous retirements. The pair was, however, still driving steady and completed the day in 7th position, in spite of getting a puncture on stage 4.
Right 3 tightest to 5. Now we've lost the time at the puncture, we can't make it back, so it just set me into a nice rhythm.
Saul Wilkin and Greg Godridge have won regional championships on these rally roads before, and the Pretoria driver was simply flying in the Sasol Konica Minolta Subaru, mixing it up with the S2000 machines and leading the way in the production car battle. Wilkin ended day 1 in a very respectable 6th position overall, less than a minute from the overall lead.
Still battling with overheating, and we just had a flat wheel in the previous stage. So we lost a few seconds there, but it's still going well.
Ahead of Wilkin, Enzo Keen and Guy Hodgson were pushing hard in their BP Ultimate Volkswagen Polo. Before this loop of stages, the 2006 champion was lying in 3rd and only 14 seconds off the lead, but a power steering problem robbed him of valuable seconds and dropped him down to 5th.
At the end of the day, we've had a couple of tough stages now because we've lost the power steering, so it's incredibly difficult to drive. So we're losing a second a kilometre, so we've dropped back to 4th position, unfortunately.
The surprise of the event so far was the speed of John and Douglas Williams in the Williams Polo. The youngster has improved on every event so far this season, and although he didn't win any stages, he was well and truly mixing it up with the guys that only a few years ago were still his heroes. He ended day 1 in 4th.
Yeah, the car's what John always wanted in the car. The car's magnificent. A little bit of notes from Guy Hodgson helped me yesterday, told me what to do as an old man. And yeah, it's going a lot better than it has been for a long while.
The BP Ultimate Polo of Habig and Judd started the second half of the opening day stages just 4 seconds off the lead, but the pair could only manage the 7th fastest time in stage 4, followed by 5th in stage 5.
The route is not very clear, so sometimes it's actually very difficult to find it. So we've had 1 or 2 overshoots. We had to go past and come back, so, you know, things happen.
But the champions were in the mood for a fight, and they hit back by winning stages 6 and 7 on the trot, moving them right back into contention again. They completed the day in 3rd, just 15 seconds off the overall lead.
Titus to 9 here.
After losing nearly 13 minutes in stage 2, the Castrol Toyota Auris of Mark Rooney and Robert Paisley were back on the stages, setting the third fastest time on stage 4. But their nightmare finally came to a complete stop when the Auris refused to start after stage 5.
Turn left 3 and then 300.
It was now up to Johnny Gemmell and Peter Marsh to defend Toyota's honor on their home event, and they did not disappoint. The remaining Castrol Toyota Auris flew through stage 4 in a winning time of just 12 minutes and 38 seconds. That was enough to move them into second position overall, a position they managed to hold on to until the end of the day. When Habig and Judd lost some time on stage 4, Fecken and Aries and the sister BP Ultimate Polo grabbed the opportunity to jump into the lead. They extended this lead even further by winning stage 5 and maintained it in stage 6 to have a comfortable 21-second advantage over Gemmell with only one stage of the opening day to go. Surely, Fecken and Aries could defend 21 seconds. But their time looked slow. They needed a time of 4 minutes and 54 seconds to stay in the lead. Their time? 4 minutes and 54 seconds. A puncture cost them loads of time and nearly the lead.
About 3Ks from the end, and we battled quite severely at the end, but luckily it wasn't that far.
So all of Fecken's hard work disappeared after a 21-second lead turned into only a 1-second lead at the end of day 1. Gemmell was second, with a determined Habig breathing down his neck. Williams impressed in fourth, ahead of Keane and his power steering problems. Wilken was highly placed for a production car, ahead of Van Niekerk, Duplessis, Latergan and the Verlaat sisters, who rounded off the top 10.
Behind the top 10, the rest of the 50-car field was also battling it out. Besides the competition, they also had to face strong winds, dust and a closing high-felt thunderstorm. In the top two-wheel drive class A7, local teams Skalkberger and Armand de Toy in their Triple S panel beaters Toyota Corolla flew out of the block straight into an early lead. Mechanical trouble in stage 3 dropped them out of the top 3, but a great time in stage 5 put Berger back in front for the rest of the day. The motorized Toyota Run X of Evan Hutchinson and Greg Gericke moved into the Class A7 lead for a few stages, but the Run X refused to start after they stalled it in stage 5, costing them 16 minutes and all chances of a class podium. Nico Hicks and Gert Nienaber briefly moved into a class top 3 in the Secunda Toyota Run X, but the engine called it a day during stage 6. Behind Berger, Tien Schubert and Henny Boertes had a clean run to occupy second in class in the Salom Group VW Polo, ahead of the similar net connect machine of Adrian Kaart and Menno Havelaar. Class veterans and already champions Craig Trott and Tony Ball had a clean run on day 1 to finish in second position, but there was nothing they could do about the pace of young Stefan Wilken and Llewellyn Fourie in the Panhard Seeds VW Polo. Wilken won every stage and opened up a commanding class lead to finish the day in an excellent 12th position overall. A broken radiator in stage 1 prevented Class A6 rivals Mohamed Musa and Grant Martin from joining this battle. Class A5 is the entry-level class for up-and-coming drivers, and on day 1 of the Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally, this class was all about David Compton and Paul Leslie in their Cecil Toyota Yaris. Compton took the lead on stage 1 and maintained for the rest of the day. Steve Mearns and Kieran Noonan in the multi-purpose cement Toyota Taz occupied second for most of the day, but a broken gearbox forced them to retire. This left the door open for the Toyota Taz of Chad Conradi and Tian Rabe to take over second position, ahead of the Volkswagen City Golf of Morne Janssen van Rensburg and Mark Ovine, who rounded off Class A5. Class N3 is a rapid front-wheel drive class for production cars with an engine capacity of up to 2 litres. The Zimbabwean pairing of Chase Atwell and Dave Milner finally got rid of their season's bad luck in the Johns Way Toyota Run X and took the Class N3 lead thanks to some inspiring driving from the youngster. Etienne Lawrence and Alvin Coetzee Ford Racing Fiesta briefly led for 2 stages until the Fiesta engine gave up the ghost in stage 5, allowing the Cecil Toyota Run X of Cape Town driver Etienne de Toy and Patrick van Mark to take over second position. They were followed by the similar machine of Natalians Costa Koumaterakis and Lau Zietsman. Class N2 was again a lonely affair for husband and wife Rian and Hester Erasmus in the ABC Motors Toyota Corolla. They were still going at the end of day 1.
Fecken has a slender 1-second advantage over Gemmell, with Habig also within striking distance. Wilken has daylight between himself and the rest of the Class N4 field. Skalkberger leads Class A7, and Stefan Wilken has more than 4 minutes between himself and Craig Trott in Class A6. Day one of the Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally ended with a high-felt thunderstorm closing in. This rally has seen lots of water in the past, but the storm only splashed the roads, and day two dawned dry and clear. A fresh start for the remaining 34 rally crews and a new playground. Day two was all based in and around the Rally Star facility, close to Bobsfontein, east of Johannesburg and Pretoria. Rally Star is a mecca for rally drivers and teams in Gauteng, and home to the famous Super Special stage and the Rally Star Driving Academy. On this day, it was also home to the final day of the 2008 Sasol South African Rally Championship and the showdown between the country's top gravel drivers. For the final time this year, the leading 8 drivers get to choose their starting positions for the second day. Normally, the starting order for day 2 is a perfect reversal of the standings after day 1, but this time the teams had different strategies. The first 4 chose 8th, 7th, 6th and 5th respectively, but 5th placed Keen chose first.
Yeah, we chose first. I think we're confident to make our own lines and we don't want to be intimidated. I think there was a risk for us also to finish behind or start this morning behind an N4 car, which we don't want.
We decided to take the position a little bit further back. Maybe the roads would be swept a bit more, and at least you have more definite lines and more markers where the other guys have been and where they've gone. So this makes it slightly easier to find the route, because the route is a little bit vague here and there.
Stage 8 was a 16-kilometer affair just west of Rally Star, full of dips, jumps and bumps. With the standings as close as they were, there was no time for the drivers to warm up. They had to attack from the word go. The BP Ultimate Polo of Keen and Hodgson was the first car to tackle Marius. Remember, Keen suffered from power steering problems on day 1 and was, excuse the pun, keen to make up for the lost time. He set the benchmark time of 10 minutes and 16 seconds.
We're comfortable running first on these roads and, you know, making our own lines and brake markers. It's very point and squirt, so I'm happy and confident to go first. It's a new day and got to catch up, and we lost a lot of time yesterday.
It was clear that Visser Du Plessis was not going to defend his 2007 production car title, but Du Plessis and Gerard Snyman were still enjoying themselves in the Pertic Subaru while trying to fend off the challenge by Hein Latergat.
You know, Ergen spoke to me this morning about the whole thing with Paul's death, and he said, Visser, you know, because he had a family member die in 1974, and he just told me, you've got to go flat out, otherwise you're in danger, because you don't concentrate. And I'm not saying I'm going flat out, but I'm concentrating and I'm driving better, and that helps. It makes me feel better at least.
Jaapie van Niekerk and Robin Houten nearly had a big moment with their Toyota Runnix in this rough section, but recovered well to set the 7th fastest time.
Yeah, left, and then wide right. Watch it.
Had a good stage. Happy with it.
Wilken and Godwich were on a mission in their Sasol Konica Minolta Subaru. The production car title was now a sure thing, so the pair had their sights set on a good overall finish. After stage 8, they were in 5th, just 30 seconds away from a podium position.
Yeah, I'm sure we lost some time there. I tried hard though, but yeah.
The rising star, John Williams, was having one of his best ever outings in the Williams Polo and set a competitive stage time to maintain his 4th position overall. But he had Enzo Keen breathing down his neck. Habig and Judd set the 5th fastest time in their BP Ultimate Polo on stage 8, losing 7 seconds to teammates Keen in the process. But what about the fight between Fecken and Gemmel? Remember, the difference before this stage was a mere second, so the outcome on this stage could well determine the lead. And then, for the umpteenth time this year, Lady Luck again turned her back on Gemmel and Marsh. From the Atterbury Properties helicopter, it was clear that Gemmel was going very slowly.
Temperature.
Temperature's all right.
Medium right here, don't miss it, grassy. Maybe just a misfire.
It was indeed a misfire that cost them more than a minute and dropped them from 2nd to 6th position. Fecken and Uddies had no such problems. The BP Ultimate Polo flew through the first stage of the Saturday morning to once again lay the gauntlet down. The fastest time of 10 minutes and 16 seconds so far was set by Keen, but Fecken crosses the flying finish 2 seconds quicker.
It's very fast, tricky section with
jumps, but we had a good stage. Looks like we got the same time as Enzo, so
Before heading back to service, it was time for some head-to-head racing around the Rally Star Super Special stage. In a Super Special, 2 cars start the stage at the same time, with each doing a long and a short loop. After both loops, the cars should arrive at the flying finish at the same time. The Super Special was only 2 kilometers long, not enough time to really make up time on your rivals, but a small mistake and you can lose time. And what a great way to entertain the large and enthusiastic crowd. In the end, the BP Ultimate Polos of Keen and Habig shared the fastest time of 1 minute and 30 seconds, followed by Fecken and Wilken only a second slower. So after 9 of 16 stages, Fecken finds himself 23 seconds ahead of teammate Habig, with the Williams Polo only a further 10 seconds adrift. Keen was busy closing in, with Wilken in his production car also within striking distance. The luckless Gemmell dropped from a second behind to 1 minute and 36 seconds behind, thanks to that dreaded misfire. With only 7 stages and around 80 kilometers to go, Volkswagen was sitting pretty and on course for a Volkswagen 1, 2, 3 and 4, something that's never been achieved before. John Williams was currently in 3rd, but what did it feel like to have Enzo Keen breathing down his neck?
we'll keep our cool and just try and keep that pace, not try and do anything silly. Obviously for Volkswagen it'll be good to get a nice finish, so yeah, we've got to keep that in mind, but yeah, we'll still keep pushing a bit.
I'm proud of John, he's come a long way, done a lot of mileage, and I'm first to congratulate him that he's taken a step and he's driving well on this event. Unfortunately for him, I have to protect my position as well.
With nothing more to lose and only positions and pride to gain, Gemmell and Mars in the Castrol Toyota Auris put the hammer down on stage 10 to win the stage overall. But only by 2 seconds from the flying Wilken and Godrich and the Cecil Konica Minolta Subaru. Wilken was edging closer and closer to the Volkswagens at the top and was now only 7 seconds behind Keen in 4th.
I thought I was driving fast over the top, the 2 sideways, but yeah, it seemed to work, and the misfire is still there.
Everyone knew that Keen was going to give his all to catch the young Williams for 3rd, but this wrong slot didn't help.
We had an oversplit shoot now and a spin. I was very unhappy with myself. Probably lost 10 seconds.
Through all of this, Fecken and Aries put their heads down and completed the stage in the same time as Wilken, or just 2 seconds slower than Gemmell, to maintain their overall lead in the BP Ultimate Polo.
Yeah, at this stage everything is fine. Looks like we're okay.
Well, just 2 stages ago, Volkswagen was sitting pretty by occupying the first 4 positions. But as Murray Walker used to say, anything can happen in motorsport, and it usually does. During stage 11, Fecken and Aries lost the rally lead. Their BP Ultimate Polo arrived at the service park with considerable damage to the rear suspension.
We lost almost a minute, but we lost 1 position for like second just before going to the stage.
Nearly a minute was lost, but the Volkswagen technicians managed to fix it, and they were soon back in the fight. Habig and Judd started stage 11 in 2nd position overall, but a wrong slot in the stage robbed them of more than a minute and dropped the outgoing champions down from 2nd to 6th.
Yeah, we had the guys in front of us that knocked the arrows down, and it was like quite a flat piece of field. So we chose the biggest road, which was obviously wrong. Yeah, we lost 30 seconds. We had 30 seconds down, and to come back another 30 seconds, so that was a minute.
Wilken and Godrich, who started the stage in 5th behind the leading 4 Polos, set a blistering pace to win stage 11 overall. Their time of 11 minutes and 8 seconds over the 17-kilometer stage rocketed the production car straight into 3rd spot overall, just 10 seconds from the overall lead.
I'm trying as hard as I can, so I can't get any quicker than that.
And then came the surprise of the rally. With Fecken and Habich losing time, the young John Williams and Father Douglas were suddenly the overall leaders of the rally for the first time in their short rally careers. The pressure was still on though, as the lead was only 2 seconds.
Yeah, we are lying first overall, so it's a bit of a shock. It wasn't part of the plan, but we've been hanging in there the whole day, pushing hard.
After the break, the action, drama and carnage of the Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally continues as the 2008 Sasol South African Rally Championship draws to a close. Before the break, the Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally was turned on its head when Fecken dropped out of the lead. Wilken moved into third, and John Williams took the lead. Time to settle down and recap on the overall standings after 11 of the 16 stages. For the first time in his career, John Williams was leading a national rally, albeit by only 2 seconds, from the newly crowned champion Fecken. Wilken was only 8 seconds back in a production car, with Keen breathing down his neck. Habich dropped from 2nd to 6th behind a recovering Gemmel. The action was heating up as the stage kilometers were counting down. Boone South was only 12.6 kilometers long, and after that, only 4 relatively short stages remained. With all of Toyota's hopes on their shoulders, Gemmel and Mars drove their hearts out in the Castrol Toyota Auris to record the fastest times in both stages 12 and 13, but it only helped to close the gap to 4th a little. The BP Ultimate Polo of Enzo Keen and Guy Hodgson set a time of 7 minutes and 1 second on stage 12, just 2 seconds slower than Gemmel's winning time. But would it be enough to overtake Wilken for third? Remember, they were trailing the Sasol Konica Minolta Subaru by 3 seconds, but Wilken was in no mood to give up his third place.
Brake quickly after. Don't brake before the finish, though. Before brake.
Their time, 7 minutes and 1 second. Rally leaders John and Douglas Williams recorded a time of 7 minutes and 11 seconds and were now tied with Wilken for the overall lead. But the BP Ultimate Polo of Fecken and Aries was still in the stage. A time of 7 minutes and 9 seconds would result in a 3-way tie at the top. But Fecken crosses the flying finish in a time of 7 minutes and 5 seconds and retakes the lead by a slim 4 seconds. In stage 13, Fecken managed to extend his lead to 9 seconds, while Keen managed to slip past Wilken to now tie Williams for 2nd place, with the Sasol Konica Minolta Subaru of Wilken and Godreach only 4 seconds behind the BP Ultimate and Williams Polos.
Pretty close now. I think 1 of 3 guys can win this rally, so...
No, but I'm going flat out, so I can't go any quicker.
No, we're not slowing down for anything.
With just 3 stages to go, John Williams was having the fight of his life with Enzo Keen.
It's been awesome dicing with Enzo. You know, he's taught me a lot, so you know, it's obviously now finally paying off. So really enjoying the dice, and yeah, I just got to hang in there and hopefully it finishes well for us. So we'll see what happens.
Wilken was only 4 seconds from a 3rd place finish, and that in a production car.
The nice thing is, you know, we're pushing hard like the other competitors in our class were the whole year, and it just shows when there's no pressure on, it's easy to go as quickly as they've been going the whole year.
But through all of this, and after seeing the lead come and go on a number of occasions, Argen Fecken was once again back in front.
It's been an up and down rally for us. We've been leading every now and again, and we've opened up a gap, and then we lost it.
Stage 14 was once again a repeat of stage 8, Marius, run earlier in the day. At 16 kilometers long, it was the last real opportunity for anyone to try and break the deadlock. Before crews had to once again tackle a shorter stage at Rally Star, before finishing off with a very short 2 kilometer long super special stage. The Castrol Toyota Auris of Johnny Gemmel and Peter Marsh continued their stage winning streak by winning both stages 14 and 15, bringing their tally of stage wins to 5 for the day. And although this performance moved them to within just 10 seconds of 3rd place with just 1 short stage to go, it was too little too late. How they must have been cursing that dreaded misfire. Fecken and Aries were simply flying, maintaining and even slightly extending their lead to 12 seconds with only the short 2 kilometer super special stage to go. It was a mesmerizing performance, and as if anyone needed any, solid proof that the 2008 champions were also the quickest pairing.
Yeah, that's fine. We lost 1 second to Enzo, but it's fine.
But the fight between Keane, Williams and Wilkin for second, third and fourth was still on. And a fight this close, it's all about seconds. And after stages 14 and 15, there were only 6 seconds separating these three. And that with only 2 kilometers of special stage distance to go. Will Feck can hang on for his 4th victory of the year? Will Williams claim his first ever podium of his career? And if so, will it be a 2nd or a 3rd place? Or will Wilkin win the production car title in style by also finishing in the top 3?
We're trying hard there, like 6 corners, which normally we go down in gear, just keeping it flat, sliding sideways, into the bank and into the bank. So.
The action and drama, however, was not only reserved for the 4 teams at the top. Behind them, the remaining crews were having their own individual battles. Hein Latergan, together with navigator Johan van der Merwe in the Afroc Subaru, was one of the real finds of the season. Latergan, already a production car rally winner in 2008, was on the back foot after losing time on day 1, thanks to a puncture that left him in 9th place overnight. A failed clutch on Saturday morning also didn't help matters, but still, Latergan was able to catch and pass Visser du Plessis for 2nd in the production car class, with just 3 stages to go. But stage 13 proved to be unlucky as the Afroc Subaru broke a shock absorber and forced him to retire. What a performance from the rally sisters Lola and Megan Verlaak. The siblings and their team Total Evolution Mitsubishi Lancer missed the Swartland rally last month, but came back with one of their strongest performances ever to claim 3rd in the production car category, but more importantly, 9th place overall after a solid and trouble-free run. Outgoing production car champion Visser du Plessis and co-driver Gerhard Snyman claimed 2nd in the production car category and 8th overall. It was an eventful year for the pair behind the wheel of the new Pertic N14 ProDrive Subaru. The car was good but let them down on a number of occasions. They still managed to claim 2nd in the overall production car championship. Jaapie van Niekerk and Robin Houghton completed their first year in the top S2000 class with a fine 7th overall on the Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally. Van Niekerk was holding on to 3rd place in the overall championship for most of the season, courtesy of a series of consistent finishes until 2 non-finishes early in the year halted his progress. But the Pretoria businessman completes the season with bags of experience for 2009.
Right 8.
Outgoing Sasol South African Rally champions Jan Habig and Douglas Judd ended their last rally of the year in 6th place overall. Their BP Ultimate Polo was right in the heart of all the action for most of the 2-day event, but the by now infamous Stage 11 dropped them out of contention. It was still good to see that the most experienced driver in the field and a 6 times national champion still has what it takes. They finished 2nd in the overall championship.
Right fast left in.
Was it not for that early morning misfire, Gemmel and Mars could well have won the Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally in their Castle Toyota Auras. Although they won 5 of Saturday's stages, would have and could have mean nothing in rallying, but they did establish themselves as real contenders for next year.
Out of nearly 50 starters, only 23 managed to reach the end of the tough Toyota dealer Gauteng Rally. Skalk Burger and Armand de Toy in their Triple S panel beaters Toyota Corolla set the initial pace, but mechanical trouble forced them down to 3rd in class. The BP Ultimate Polo of Gugu Zulu and Carl Peskin finished their season with 2nd place in class. The talented Zulu is currently also a contestant on a dancing reality television show. Tian Schubert and Henny Boertes took over the Class A7 lead in stage 10 on the final day in their Salon Group Volkswagen Polo, but their engine cried enough while leading by 55 seconds in the dying moments of the rally. This allowed the Net Connect Volkswagen Polo of Adrian Karth and Menno Havelaar to grab the Class A7 victory, their 3rd class win for the year. First in Class A7 was also good enough for 10th overall, a great result.
Yeah, it's great. It's our 2nd one in a trot this time, so nice. We fought hard. We got it on the last stage, so really chuffed. BW, Mike and the guys there, thank you very much. Absolutely fantastic for the boys. Good work, phenomenal car, and a good end to the season. So going well.
At the start of day 2, Stefan Wilken and Llewellyn Fourie had a 5-minute Class A6 lead in their Panas Seeds Volkswagen Polo. Unfortunately for the youngster, his good run came to a premature end soon after.
Yeah, we started off day 1 pretty well. By the end of day 1, we were leading at about 4 minutes and went out powering this morning, and eventually at the end of that stage, the oil pressure came down and went into the service park, saw that there was a problem, and we decided to withdraw. I can't afford to blow the motors, so yeah, that's rallying.
Wilkins' demise left the door open for class champions and veterans Craig Trott and Tony Ball to claim another class victory. The Team Total Evolution Run X ended 13th overall.
I think it was one of these where to stay on the road, stay out of trouble, and as the saying goes, get to the end and the results will sort out themselves.
The Little Cecil Toyota Yaris of Dave Compton and Paul Leslie were well on their way to claim a well-earned Class A5 victory. After dominating the class from start to not quite the finish, the pair was forced to retire in the penultimate stage when the rear axle on the Yaris broke. Bradley Martin and Kenny Hill took advantage of the situation to claim a well-earned second position in Class A5 in their City Golf, but the victory went to the hard-charging and never-say-die Toyota Taz of Chart Conradi and Tian Rabe.
It was a difficult day for us. We had overheating problems, fuel pressure problems, but in the end we got the finish.
One of the real surprises of the rally was the speed of the young Zimbabwean Chase Atwell and Dave Milner in their Johns Way Toyota Run X. Atwell had a convincing Class N3 lead, but broke a drive shaft in stage 10.
The drive shafts have been our plague for the whole year. Don't know why, whether it's us or it's fault or whatever, but can't blame the car.
Sassel's Etienne de Toy and Patrick Vermaak were the Class N3 winners, but the Cape Townians Run X was excluded after a post-event technical check for having a non-standard airflow meter, showing that production car rules are extremely strict. This handed the Class N3 win to early season title hopeful Costa Kumaterakis and navigator Lau Zietsman. Their rally was filled with drama, but the pair still managed to reach the end in exactly the same time as already class champions Rodney Versaghi and Carolyn Swan in their Total Evolution Run X. Kumaterakis was awarded the win due to more stage wins. Class N2 went to husband and wife Rian and Esther Erasmus, who were the only ones to start, roll their car and finish the class in their ABC Motors Toyota Corolla. Louis de Klerk and Dewald Hattem won the regional class in their Denock Plumbers Toyota Taz, ahead of the father and son Ashley and Leslie McKenzie, who had to push their 38-year-old Ford Escort over the finish line.
But there are some unanswered questions. With just 2 kilometers of the Rally Star Super Special stage to go, Hergen Fecken and Pierre Aris had a 12-second lead. But behind them, the battle for the remaining podium positions was fierce. There were only 6 seconds between Keane, Williams and Wilkin.
Tell us about it.
There's also 6 inches between the three of them.
Keane and Hodgson were the first ones to tackle the Super Special. The BP Ultimate Polo crossed the flying finish and set the benchmark time of 1 minute and 31 seconds. It was unlikely that Fecken and Aris were going to lose 12 seconds in just 2 kilometers, and they didn't.
Stay right over flying finish.
The BP Ultimate Polo crossed the flying finish in a time of also 1 minute and 31 seconds to claim another vintage victory. But who would get second?
Okay. Whoop, whoop.
John and Douglas Williams needed 1 minute and 27 to beat Keane for second. But no, their time is 1 minute and 32 seconds. Wilkin and Godridge were now on course for a podium finish. Williams' third place was under attack from a social Konica Minolta Subaru. 1 minute and 29 seconds will put them on the podium. But no, 1 minute and 30 seconds. They miss out by a single second. What a dramatic end to a dramatic season, with Hergen Fecken and Pierre Aris claiming their 4th victory of the season by a slender 12 seconds from teammates Keane and Hodgson. Williams gets his best ever result, while Wilkin missed the podium by a single second. Confirmation of Fecken's S2000 victory. Wilkin dominated N4. Adrian Carth came through to take Class A7, while Craig Trott was the only Class A6 survivor. Chart Conradi scores another Class A5 win, and the only finishes in Class N3 ends on exactly the same time. Erasmus survived Class N2. After all their hard work and strategic driving, Charles Wilkin and Greg Godridge were rewarded with another fine production car victory and a well-deserved overall production car championship.
Yeah, It's close. We tried very hard the whole day. I was flat out the whole day. In the end, yeah, couldn't pull the podium off, but you know, we took the production car championship, and yeah, I'm very happy.
What a moment for the young John Williams and Father Douglas to claim their first ever podium finish in a national rally.
Yes, yeah, it's awesome. I'm just over the moon. I really worked hard from Friday. I just said I'm going to just go for it. I'm going to push all the time, and we never relaxed. For 1 minute we just couldn't, and yeah, I'm so excited. Really just over the moon.
For Enzo Keane and Guy Hodgson, a hard-fought second place must have been almost as rewarding as a victory.
The main thing is we got the first 3 places in the championship for Volkswagen, and that was our goal this year. I'm very happy for Hergen to win his championship, his first championship. We started rallying together, and you know, he's a good driver, he deserves it.
And how fitting that the 2008 champions, Argen Pekken and Ferraris, end the season by taking the final victory in spectacular style.
Every single stage we was pushing. It was quite a hard event for us. But